Welcome to the TPT Podcast Sports Betting Show, where hosts Dustin and Grizzy put their money on the table for this week's best bets.
What is up, boys? We are here with TPT's best bets. It is week 16 of the NFL season. And if you guys have been keeping up with the TikTok, you would know we have a very, very special guest today. Dustin couldn't make it. He's taken so many L's week after week. I think he quit, honestly. But yes, I would like to introduce you to Mr. Drew Schiffer, Skull.tv on TikTok. Drew, how are you, man?
I'm good. Dustin's picks have been so bad that he had to call me in for relief. They're going to call me the Mariano Rivera, the way I'm going to close out this season for Dustin and take the lead and take this big dub during the season.
That sounds great, Drew. But let's see how you can compete against me. I'm pretty good at
All right.
making these picks. But Drew, we see the Vikings flag behind you, but why don't you tell us a little about yourself, why you like the Vikings, why you want to torture yourself by liking the Vikings?
So my grandpa was a fan of the Vikings when they became an expansion team. His favorite, honestly, it was pretty simple. His favorite color was purple. The Vikings were the first purple professional sports team. Then the Lakers followed suit shortly afterwards when they were in Minneapolis to follow the Vikings with the purple and gold colors, and just fell down with the lineage of my family. So that's kind of how I became the Vikings fan.
Well, Drew, at least you didn't become a Chicago Bears fan because we probably wouldn't be talking face to face right now if you were.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure,
uh,
for
but
sure.
yeah, Drew, I know this is your first time here, so actually I think I'm
Yep.
going to take the lead, and I think I'll kick off tonight with the picks. And
All right.
like we do, we just you say your pick and you give a little reasoning why, and we roast each other of how each other's picks are just horrible.
All right.
All right,
All right.
Drew, anything else you want to say before we get started?
No, just get ready to eat the L and close out the season for Dustin.
Yeah, close out the season for Dustin. He needs all the help he could get. All right, Drew, if you don't mind, I'm going to start by taking us out to Chicago. The game's in Chicago, but I am not picking anyone on Chicago because they suck. I'm taking James Conner over 52.5 rushing yards, and he was eaten against the 49ers defense, and that's kind of my reasoning for this pick is if he could do it against the 49ers defense, he could do it against Chicago. I know, Drew, you've told me multiple times, I don't know, man, Chicago's got a good run defense, but James Conner, he's been playing pretty good these past couple weeks, and I think he should at least get 53 rushing yards against the Chicago Bears and hopefully eliminate their playoff hopes.
Yeah. So the thing with Chicago, they've got a top run defense somehow. With having a 6-win season per usual, they'll always have that 5 to 7 win season. With adding Montez Sweat, still doesn't do much, but somehow they're finding ways to stop the run, and I think you'll have to take the L on that one. But I'm going to take this over to the next state, a little bit further north, with Jordan Love taking on the Carolina Panthers, having that two-win season so far for him. Jordan Love on the over on touchdowns at 1.5, which he has hit that 1.5 over in 5 out of the last 6 games.
All right, Drew, short and sweet to the point. That's
Yep.
how we like it. You just got to
Yeah.
keep it short and sweet. But
Mm-hmm.
I know you obviously don't want to talk much about Jordan Love. You don't want to catch those
Mm-mm.
diseases or anything.
No, we do not
But
love love.
we're gonna take it over to one of the hottest teams in the AFC, and no, I'm not talking about the Bills. I'm talking about the Houston Texans, and I'm gonna go towards Nico Collins, who's supposed to come back this week. Collins, obviously, their wide receiver one, and I have him getting over 46.5 receiving yards. Collins has proved he can go for 100 yards whenever he wants, and Cleveland, they do have that really good defense, but I think this is going to be a really pass heavy game. Obviously, Deshaun Watson's not playing, but obviously he's coming back to not play against, but it's the first time that Cleveland's played Houston since he's been traded. Don't trademark me on that, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, 47 receiving yards for Nico Collins. He could hit that on one play. He could hit
Yeah.
that in the first quarter. But yeah, let's get to Drew with his second pick.
So it'll be his second time playing Houston because he came back from his suspension for doing illegal stuff with women. That was his Browns debut. So with that, I would have to say that's another L on Grizzy there because we don't even know if CJ Stroud's going to play, still in concussion protocol. Do we trust a geriatric Case Keenum to carry them over to a win or get Nico Collins even the ball. But I'm going to take this over to the Bills with Stephon Diggs getting a touchdown on the over, which is a spicy pick right now at underdog if you're using underdog. The Chargers are allowing the sixth most touchdowns amongst the entirety of the NFL. And just because there's a change at coach, I'm going to say that they don't really have a true scheme. We don't really know what they're going to get. So there may be a little confusion, maybe for their end on the Chargers with no quarterback with Justin Herbert, him being out for the season. I think this is going to be a very big win for the Bills. But anytime touchdown for Stephon Diggs.
All right, Drew. Let's get to our third picks. I'm going to keep it in Buffalo. I'm taking James Cook over 23.5 receiving yards. Drew, I remember earlier in the season you told me James Cook, whenever you can get him on a good receiving line, it's pretty much a lock. If you tell me pretty much all the time, it's a lock. 23.5, and he had, I don't remember off the top of my head, but he went over last week. And that was against the Cowboys, who have a really good defense. The Chargers have that poverty defense. They couldn't stop a nosebleed. And I think I think Josh Allen loves to check down the ball to James Cook because James Cook is slowly turning into a little prime Dalvin Cook. Us Vikings fans, that's probably our second one of our, top 5 running backs of all time. That Dalvin Cook prime hits different. But we're not talking about Dalvin, we're talking about his brother James. And I think he goes over 23.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a little prop that'll actually help your bet out. I'm going to take the over on Josh Allen pass attempts. He has hit the over on this current pass attempt number, which is set at 31 and a half in 9 out of the last 14 games this year. So let's talk about the power of the interim head coach. It just seems like this year, anytime an interim head coach steps in this year or last year, these teams just find ways to make it close. The Bills, they're fighting for a playoff spot, possibly for the division. Is this Bills team going to be able to blow them out, or is they going to be the same old Bills where they're going to find a way to lose a game, try to find a way to choke and break Bills fans' hearts again? But I could see this also being a close game where they start throwing the ball a little bit more with Josh Allen.
Yeah, Drew, me and Mr. Jaden's jerseys, we're talking about if we had to pick an upset for the week, we are thinking that Buffalo could end up losing. And, they can't afford to lose. They really cannot afford to lose another game, Drew. But keeping it in a team that's not looking for a playoff spot, they are looking to clinch a division. That being the Philadelphia Eagles. They've had a bad 3 weeks. But I think they bounce back on Christmas Day, 4:30 p.m. Eastern time against the New York Giants. The Giants, they suck. The Giants suck. I don't think anyone really has anything to say about that. And Jalen Hurts over 275.5 pass and rush yards. I feel like Hurts hasn't cracked 200 yards of passing yards in the last 2 games. I feel like he just comes out and they just destroy the Giants like 38-10. And maybe it'll be 38-7. Where have I seen that score before that involved the Eagles?
Yeah.
Guess I'll have to Google that one. But Drew, I'm gonna steal. This is a Drew Schiffer special. Everyone, if you can get a Boston Scott touchdown, make sure you're all taking that because Drew will tell you that. I'm gonna have Drew touch on this in a second. Boston Scott always scores against the Giants. And I will pass this off to Drew for his 4th pick, and he will talk a little bit more about Boston Scott because he is a huge Boston Scott fan.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have some friends that are Eagles fans, and they always tell me anytime that Boston Scott plays the Giants, you always got to hit the anytime touchdown of Boston Scott. For some reason, he just always shows up against the Giants. It's kind of like for if you're a Vikings fan, DJ Wanham, he always seems to get a sack against the Bears. It's just how it is for him. I don't know what it is with the Giants. Maybe he just has some vendetta against them. I mean, who knows? But keeping it with the Vikings, I'm going to take the Justin Jefferson over on 80.5 rushing plus receiving yards. In his 6 games, career games against Detroit, he has hit that over in 4 out of the 6 games he's played against Detroit, which brings it to an average of 123 yards per game. And I think last week it showed that with no Kirk Cousins being in the picture, he was still getting the ball. He saw double-digit targets. And Detroit's defense is not really that great. They've been very underwhelming. If I'm being honest, it's kind of similar to last year's Vikings. They need the offense to have a offensive shootout with the other team, and they're just going to allow a bunch of points. And the corners have been really hurt, banged up, and I think Justin Jefferson hitting the over is a pretty good lock for this week too.
All right, Drew, maybe you should have saved that one for your lock of the week. But I guess we'll get right back into it. And I was debating on making this my lock of the week. Honestly, it's not too late. I could probably switch it, but I'm gonna keep it how it is because it's how I have it laid out. Sam Howell lower than 216.5 passing yards, and do you know who they're playing? They're playing the New York Jets, who have Sauce Gardner, they have Quinnen Williams, they have a great defense. They have not been giving up many passing yards. It'd be great if the Jets, I don't know, traded for a quarterback that could get the receivers the ball or something. But I guess maybe next year they'll trade for a quarterback. But Sam Howell under 216.5 passing yards. And I mean, we all saw that he got benched for Jacoby Brissett last week, and don't be surprised if he gets benched again this week.
Yeah, unfortunately, I would have to say it's a good pick, but I think just wasn't enough ashwagandha and darkness retreats for that Jets quarterback to come back this time after that Achilles tear. But it was a little bit of a debate for me on my lock of the week between that Justin Jefferson pick, but I decided for my lock of the week, I'm going to go with Jason Myers over on 1.5 field goals made, solely for the reason that the Tennessee Titans, they allow the most field goals in the entirety of the NFL right now, and Jason Myers has also hit that 1.5 field goal mark 4 out of his last 6 games. So the way that the Seahawks have played with Drew Lock and Geno Smith, it doesn't really seem to matter who's under center. It's just they just find ways to score points, and the Tennessee Titans defense isn't very good either. So you might get some long drives, sustained drives, and I think that Jason Myers field goal prop is pretty good. Okay.
I'm gonna go back to Christmas Day. Everyone's gonna be opening their presents, hopefully getting some Justin Jefferson jerseys, hopefully get some Jordan Addison jerseys. Hell, if you want to get an Ezra Cleveland jersey, well, he's not on the team anymore. Oh, if you want to get an Ed Donatel jersey, I mean, that'd make good firewood. Yeah. So Brandon Ayuk, I'm gonna go to the 49ers. I've been a huge 49ers fan this year, other than week 6, 7. Drew will correct me on that if I'm wrong. Whatever week we played the 49ers, but I've been a huge 49ers fan. My papa's a 49ers fan. But don't tell him, but I'm taking Brandon Ayuk lower than 61.5 receiving yards. I feel like they know that Purdy has a good connection with Ayuk, and they do have Marlon Humphrey, and I'm sure Ayuk is going to see a lot of Marlon Humphrey Christmas Day. And let's just hope the 49ers could pull off this win so they can go home happy and lock in Brock Purdy for MVP. All right, Drew, let's get to your lock of the week.
All right, I'm gonna take a cut here. So with the lock of the week, you could just edit it around and then just put the Jason Meyer pick last, and then just put this bet in front of the Jason Meyer pick.
Okay.
All right, and we'll action right here. So with my bet with this one, it is a sportsbook bet, so it's not affiliated with Underdog. So if you have FanDuel, BetMGM, DraftKings, anything like that, I have a 5-pick parlay that I think could hit for you all if you're looking to spend a little, get some of that Christmas money back, holiday shopping and whatnot. So I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals at -2.5 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's just too many question marks with the Steelers right now with quarterbacks and all that's gone wrong with them. The possibly rumors of the Steelers fans wanting Mike Tomlin fired. And the Cincinnati Bengals really showed up against top 5 scoring defense last week in the Minnesota Vikings. And they put up 27 points on them. So I would say the Bengals at -2.5, they're finding ways to win. I would take that with the Packers at -5. I think that's another hit right there for you all. The Packers are a little bit on a cold streak. Panthers coming off a win, but I think the Panthers are going to kind of come back down to reality a little bit with the Packers on the road, but I think the -5 is a good pick for you all. Kansas City Chiefs at -10 over the Las Vegas Raiders. Chiefs have been struggling a little bit in the last few weeks, but they finally had their get-right game against the Patriots. And it's just hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I'm going to go and take Kansas City at -10. And the last two are going to be Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown because he's just a touchdown machine. He always scores touchdowns. A little extra prop there for you. And the last one is going to be Derrick Henry anytime touchdown because the fact that Will Levis may not be playing. Ryan Tannehill is just like the water boy that just loves handing out those water bottles to the players. It's just what he's done his entire time at Tennessee. And with that being said, Derrick Henry is going to get a lot. He's going to be fed a lot. I think a Derrick Henry touchdown against a weak run defense that they're playing against will be another hit for that parlay. So that puts it at a $10 bet, would pay out about $155 depending on which sports book you use. And yeah, go get your Christmas money back.
All right, Drew, that was a lot. I didn't know you were doing that, but yeah, guys. One thing I will say is insure. You need, if you guys are nervous, at least insure it so you win something if they all don't hit. And if you guys don't know what insure it is, it's basically like if you miss on one of your picks, but all of them the rest hit, you still get something out of it. So, guys, make sure if you're nervous, but if you want to go balls to the walls like I normally do, definitely don't insure it. But if you guys are nervous, please insure and bet responsibly. Please only bet if you have money to lose. Don't always be like, "Well, I'm just gonna throw $10 here because I know I'm gonna get it back." It'll never happen. You never know with injuries or just people have bad days. So, yeah. One last thing is everyone, obviously Dustin's not here to do the outro, so now his bitch ass is making me do it. Use code TVF when you guys sign up for Underdog Fantasy. Get up to a free 500. I think it was like a 500 deposit get a 500 deposit, $500 deposit match on the first time you deposit when you use code TVF. And yeah, Drew, it was a pleasure to have you on here. I think we're gonna have you on here next week, or is Dustin gonna be back? Is he gone from his vacation of losing?
I have not been notified if Dustin will be back, but if he is not going to be here, I'm available to come in relief again and just keep racking up W's for Dustin.
Yeah. Basically, I'll have my agent reach out to your agent. I just signed this guy that got cut by Tommy DeVito. And as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Best Bets. Hope you guys win some money this week. I hope I win some money this week. And as always, let me talk to you come Tuesday. Yeah, die Jack. Take those sunglasses off. We're inside. All right, we'll see you guys in the next episode of Best Bets.